Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play of Crusader Kings? No. Dwarf Fortress. Sorry guys, I guess I just like brain farted. It's okay, right? This is our 4th episode in the Hailglazed series, which is our Tundra challenge. So, first 2 episodes were all set up. The last episode was our first episode where we did something, and we basically dug down, made a stock room, and we're in the process of getting some workshops dug out. We also have a budding romance going on. So let's get this thing done. There's not much left out there on the actual wagon, which is good. You notice it's taking them a lot longer to dig now. That's because they're in a rock layer versus the soil layers. So they're going to dig through this orthoclase, and then we're going to be able to get our workshop set up, which is good. Okay, so we have enough room here for our first workshop, which I'm going to go ahead and get set up as a carpenter. So we're going to use the orthoclase that's there. And you guys know how much I like to have a wood stockpile around that thing. Which means that we need to go back up here now to this stockpile, and we need to take wood out of it. So we will disable wood, and that should lead to the wood getting brought down there to the correct place. Okay, and then we're going to put a mason, because mason is pretty much a pillar of your fortress. And as far as the mason goes, we just put a nice little stone workshop here. But we want to make sure that it is correctly set up, because we don't want metal ore or economic stone there. Or clay. And then I think we're going to put our mechanic workshop here. And it will also have a stone stockpile around it. I'm sorry, I've got Foo Fighters in my head. I've just read an article about the Foo Fighters. I like the Foo Fighters. Don't get me wrong, I like the Foo Fighters, but I like their old stuff a lot better. I hope that doesn't make me sound like a big fucking hipster. Like, I really don't care, actually, but I much prefer the Foo Fighters first, I would say first 2 albums. The 3rd album's still good, but everything else okay. You know, I mean, I have mad respect for Dave Grohl. Anyways, yeah, I just read an article about the Foo Fighters, so that's why I'm humming the Foo Fighters. Same setup there for the stone. And we are going to need a Craftsdwarf's workshop because we need to make some goblets. So let's go ahead and we will stick that over here, I guess. Because why not? And, yeah, stone again. Lots of stone stockpiles. Lots of stone stockpiles with the exact same specifications. Okay, so that's gonna get going. You know what? I think we really do need to get this over to the edge of the map. So we want probably like to go over to here, and then we probably want to, yeah, channel. That'll like channel a ramp down, I guess. Hopefully. And then what we'll do is we'll broaden it out somewhere here in the middle. We'll put a bridge over here that will, you know, we can raise when we need to. And we'll have our trade depot underground right here. You know, we might be able to use this for trade goods. Maybe. We tried to do that in our last playthrough. It didn't really work out too well. Didn't work out so well. That's okay. That's okay. So they're going to go up around top to get the channel done. Yeah, you can see it's getting channeled. So we can see upward slope. Now, the only stipulation for the trade depot is that it has to be 5 by 5. So we've already got 3 by 3 here, so we just need to widen it out. So that could be our trade depot, and then that's probably fine. We can just like wedge it in there, just like right in a nook. It's a nook. Well, we'll be able to see pretty quick if we can actually put it there. They should be able to get there, right? I mean, right? I think. Whatever. Okay. I'm not sure if we need the road or not. I don't know if that's a thing. Okay, so is this done? It is done. Okay, so we're gonna have to have very, very tight controls on our carpenter's workshop, especially at first. So that means we're not gonna be doing any sort of workflow constraints with the carpenter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beds. And then what's this? Mason's workshop. Well, we know we're gonna need a chair and a table, at least to get started, for our bookkeeper. And then down here, mechanics workshop, we're just gonna say make rock mechanisms on repeat. So where are we gonna put our stockpile? Why don't we do this? Got an idea here. I got some idea. That's something like, I think that's gonna be too small. Double it? Double it. So what I'm thinking is we'll put, like, this will be a hallway slash stockpile area. And so this will be like a stockpile area for this workshop, and then we can always put more workshops over here. And then, so what do we want to do here? We probably do need some goblets, right? So we will make, you know what, they're fine right now. They're fine. They're fine. We've got bigger fish to fry than worrying about getting them some goblets. So we'll get this dug out, get a place designated for mechanisms, and then we're gonna go down a layer and we're gonna get our bedroom set up and get somewhat a kitchen area, dining room set up as well. Okay, looks like we are making mechanisms. We've got some beds going, so everybody's staying pretty busy. That's good. Everybody's going to be staying busy. Okay. Did the trade depot get done? No. What's it waiting on? Architecture. Alright, it'll get there. It'll get there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to start off with a small stockpile for mechanisms that can be, you know, increased, I guess. Mechanisms. I always do this. It's either furniture or finished goods, and I always forget which one it is, but we know it's gonna have to be a pretty damn, I mean, it's gonna end up being a pretty damn big block all, enter. That We know it's going to end up probably having to be a pretty damn big stockpile because mechanisms don't stack. You can't put them in bins, which we're not using bins, but still. And then I guess we probably need a little stockpile up here for furniture, and we'll make this for stone furniture. Oops. I always do that. So let's take out, we don't want mechanisms or beds, even though beds shouldn't find their way over there because we've disabled other materials. I think everything else is fine. I think everything else is fine. The reason for that is because we've disabled out the other materials, so they shouldn't even find their way in there. Shouldn't. Doesn't mean they won't. Okay. So let's go down here and let's get some bedrooms set up. So I don't really know what kind of bedroom I want to make here. I don't know. You know, I haven't done the fingerling bedrooms in a while, but they look very, very shisty. And being that we're in the tundra, we might need to make an effort to keep our dwarfs a little bit happier. It's kind of like living at McMurdo Station in Antarctica. You know, they've got all sorts of things down there to keep people, you know, happy, like a bowling alley and movie theater and stuff like that. So we need to keep these people entertained. So we might need to give them some nice bedrooms. So I was thinking about doing a different kind of design. So what if we did something like this instead of our normal design? Does that, the problem with that, I guess, is that it's going to take up a whole lot of hallway. I don't know. Let's just see how it looks. It's not really that much different than what we would normally do. So I can fit 3 bedrooms in there. Is what I can fit. Whereas normally I would be fitting like 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2. Okay, I guess it's not that much less. So it would be, I gotta wrap my head around how to make these things. It's like that, and then like this. Yeah, right? So that would right there would give us 7 bedrooms to start out with. So we'll get that done before we do anything else. Something else that I'm wow, it's really melted up here. Something else that I'm really trying to work hard on doing is I'm really trying to work hard on being a little bit better about not overwhelming my dwarfs with a crap ton of things to do. I'm pretty notoriously bad for that. I overwhelm them with just like, oh yeah, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then I wonder why things aren't getting done very well. So we're gonna try to take it a little slower, and we're gonna try to make sure that things get done right. Trade depot is still not where it needs to be. What about this? Still have some stuff out there, but not a whole lot. Is there anything? Stoat Jill. Is that a bird? A Jill, I guess, is a female. A stoat. Is that a bird, or is that a? Let me look. Or is that like a mink or something? Ah. It's a weasel. It's a short-tailed weasel. Cool. So it's a female weasel, basically. Neat. I guess it can survive in the tundra. Yeah, we should probably get a hotkey set up, huh? So we will hotkey that. We'll say F2, zoom here, name, workshop. And then we'll F3, zoom here, and we'll name this living 1. Okay, good. A snowstorm has come. Oh boy. So I guess that's going to make it cover back up with snow, and indeed it looks like it is covering back up with snow. Neat. I wonder what it's going to be like in the summer. Alright, so once they get this finished up, we can layer in the beds, and we can, you know, we can plan out putting down some doors, and we can designate one room with a table and chair for our bookkeeper, which we have not actually named a bookkeeper yet. Okay, let's go ahead and get our beds in here. And you know what? I'm going to put them here, I think. Okay. Not a trade depot. Right on top of that guy, as he sleeps. Just slap a bed in his face. Okay, we need to go to our noble screen. And so far, the only noble that we have is our expedition leader. So we need to set up our manager, which no relevant skills. Basically, the only thing we need to consider with our manager and our bookkeeper is that they need to be people who aren't constantly doing things. So our miners are pretty much out. Who do we have? Now we do have a doctor, yeah, and we do have a broker. So our manager and our bookkeeper, we will just make the same person. And I'm thinking a good person for it might be our farmer here, Onal. Yeah, and then we go down here to bookkeeper, and we want to do highest precision. It doesn't take that much longer, and it's better to know exactly what you have. Okay, so we need to set up a table. So we'll set it up here in the corner, and then a chair. And then once those get put in there, we can actually assign it, and the bookkeeper will go to work. Here come the beds. Okay, there's the table. But we have to wait for the chair to actually turn it into a an office. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be for Onal, the manager. Okay. And let's make a bedroom. So we'll just go ahead and designate all these as bedrooms. Very good. So now we have 7 bedrooms for 7 dwarves. We have... Let's pause it up here. Do we have our trade depot done yet? Don't. It's still in the works. Okay. We have some mechanisms. Good. I wonder why these mechanisms are getting... Is it because we have... It might be because we have this turned off. Maybe. So let's permit that. That might be why. Speaking of which, we probably should go back up here then and make sure that mechanisms... Well, actually, it's fine if mechanisms get brought up there, because if we're going to use that as kind of like our, you know, trade depot stockpile, then we want mechanisms in there. We want it to be like an overflow. So that's a good thing. Okay. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty good place for us to put a cut in. In our next episode, we are going to go ahead and probably make a dining area. It'll probably be somewhere like down in here, one of these corners. Or we might put it like somewhere up here to keep the, I don't know. It's kind of like 6 one, half it does the other, because you want it to be designed efficiently the way the dwarves can go from their bedroom to their job pretty quickly, but they do a lot of eating and drinking too. And if we're going to put our drink stockpile next to our kitchen, you want your kitchen to be fairly centrally located as well. So, I don't know, 6 one, half of the other, just like I said. We could also put like stairwells over here in the corners and connect those up. The only problem with doing something like that is that it makes your base a little bit harder, well, actually a lot harder to defend. You just have to be very, very careful about where you put your choke points. So we already have a choke point up to the top. That just means when we dig down, we need to put a few zigs and zags in there to choke up any unwanted creatures that come up. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna do that, and hopefully we'll get our trade depot done so that we can make absolutely sure that the depot the caravans can actually access our depot, and then we'll be cooking with gas. And yeah, snow's even covering the wagon. Is there anything left? Yeah, still got stuff left out here. Come on, guys, let's get on this. All right. Thank you guys for joining me, and until next time, game on.